a role of a nutritionist becomes very, very dominant here to help you get into a lifestyle which is more comfortable for you, more easy for you to follow, not something which is actually causing burden to you, but also to ease that out and help you inculcate a habit or a lifestyle which stays with you forever. And it's easy for you to keep your health parameters upright. I think that's the whole fun of being a nutritionist. And I think when people do come back to us with a very beautiful result, I mean, that's the best thing you get. And I think that's the day you sleep better, thinking that you have given something good to people around you, right? So a little bit towards the end now, we'll understand about your practical experience, Catherine, because you do deal with a lot of different variety of members, right? So any suggestions which you want to give our listeners, that to keep, or how do you actually understand that your gut is silently crying for help? Because for a layman it's very difficult to understand that my gut is actually having some kind of an issue. Only symptoms is something which we need to note, or are there any blood parameters or any other test which is to be done to understand that yes, gut is the place or the area where somebody requires help?
Yeah. So the gut tests are very mixed. Like the microbiome tests, they're not super accurate because it's just a very, very hard thing to measure. There's so many different strains in there, and so our tests just aren't great at that. Um, what I look at a lot is symptoms. So are you having a lot of bloating, acid reflux? Do you have abdominal pain or cramping? Do you have frequent constipation or diarrhea? Those are all signs that something is not going right. Also, the way your stool looks, which I know is weird, and people generally are like, "Hey, this is weird." But anyway, is there undigested food? Is it red or black or white? Or is it very yellow? Do you see mucus? All of those things give us different information about what's going on in your gut. And, if you're having any of those, you should probably talk to someone. Um, but depending on when you're having pain and where you're having pain can really kind of guide what specific part is going on. But in general, if you're having frequent abdominal pain, A, you should see a doctor, but B, there is a lot of it's a good sign that something is up. What's challenging is that for some conditions, if you just have general, my gut's a little off, eating more fiber might really help. Fiber fluid movement might be great, especially for constipation. But then if you have other conditions, extra fiber might actually make things a little bit worse or cause more symptoms. So it's actually really hard for you to specifically know what to do, which is why it's really good to reach out and get help. But yes, you should have bowel movements that don't cause any cramping, that are easy, that, you have every, like, day to 2 days. You shouldn't have to go to the bathroom, like, 6 times a day. That's also a sign something is wrong. Um, I One of the things I see a lot is people tell me, "Well, I've always been this way." And I've had a lot of patients who come in for something else, and I always check their gut. I'm like, "All right, how's all these things going?" And this one person's like, "Every morning when I wake up, I have diarrhea." And I was like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, this has been this way my entire life, so I thought it was normal." And I'm like, "Nope, not normal." Turns out they had bile acid diarrhea. It took us a while to get to this point, and we had to, talk with a gastroenterologist, and they had to do some different workups, but basically they produced too much bile, and so that was what was causing diarrhea. So then we changed them to a lower fat diet, and they don't have the diarrhea anymore. So I think if you're having anything outside of what is really, really normal, comfortable bowel movement, no cramping, you should see someone, see what's going on because there probably is something going on.
Absolutely. And also, Catherine, I think people, when they approach nutritionists, they come very anxious and they would want to see results immediately, especially towards, constipation, or people coming to us with gastritis. They want, or they expect us to give a meal plan or a recommendation that by the next day they actually feel comfortable, and they feel that yes, it's that quick. People want to see their results. How do you deal with them? How do you actually give them that guidelines, or ask them to halt or pause, or what kind of counseling tricks do you use to help people understand that the gut health repair would take some time? It's not something which would actually change overnight, and it would take some time. How do you actually put this across to people?
Yeah. I think one thing that helps is a lot of people that come to me have been dealing with these things for a very long time. And so they're not, they've been dealing with this for months and months and months. I usually tell people, like, you should feel better within 1 to 2 months. A lot of people feel better within like a couple weeks. And so if what we're doing, you're not noticing any improvement in a month, then clearly we're not doing the right thing. We need to do something else. Um, and I think that's kind of made people feel more comfortable. If you really know, like, the root cause of what's going on with gut health and you have really good protocols and stuff, you can get things to be a lot better very quickly. It doesn't mean it's perfect, and we still have to so we get to a better place, but then we have to keep building from there to get to a place where, "Hey, I got the stomach flu," and it doesn't all come crashing back down. We want things to be very stable. But I really like to use, like, glutamine is really good. It's, a protein that our guts really like that help with healing. Zinc is really great to help with our gut healing. Omega-3s help a lot with inflammation. So does licorice and marshmallow and slippery elm. And so even if, we haven't fixed the underlying thing, using some of those can help improve comfort until we can kind of address the underlying issue. So, one of my really big goals is to really improve quality of life. And so, how could we do this early on so that way eating can be a more positive experience? And then we can work more on dealing with the imbalance.
Absolutely, absolutely, Catherine. And I think that's how, because I do understand that people, especially who have constipation, are often irritated because of the pain they walk through, or because of the symptoms they feel. The appetite is up and down. They do feel bloating, and definitely they end up having a little cranky behavior, which I think that impacts the quality of life. And to bring it back, as a nutritionist, we need to take things slow, give them that feed forward that this is how the things are going to be for some time, and give them that understanding that yes, it would take time, and ease it out for them so that they also know the health journey they are in, and what kind of routine or nutrition they would follow to help the constipation symptom easing. Because I totally agree with what you are trying to say is, people who have this condition for a very longer duration of time, it is very difficult to get results overnight or in a span of a. So, helping them ease things by positive counseling, by keeping them motivated, becomes a very critical role in the part of counseling.